Okay, this is going to be a controversial video and topic. I already know that, but I truly don't care. Because the fact is, if you want to have a successful dating life or a successful relationship with a woman, you have to tell women how to act in order to keep you pleased as a man. And this is going to be extremely important, so that way she not only looks at you as the type of man that she wants to be led by, but she consistently has strong emotional pull towards you. Now, if you neglect the things that I'm about to show you on my marker board today, you will be left for a different man that she chooses. You will potentially be heartbroken, or probably be heartbroken, or you do run the risk of being cheated on. This video is going to show you step by step exactly how to carry yourself to make sure that your dating interactions are ran properly. Now, after this video is over, I only want you to do one thing. I want you to go down below, you click the link in the description, and you check out the full-length MBT Masculine Behavioral Technique end-to-end webinar presentation that I put together for you. Because inside of that, what I show you is I show you step by step how you can take the process of masculine behavioral techniques, copy paste it into your own dating life, and get results at a far quicker pace. Let's dive in. Okay, everybody who watches me, get ready because this one is loaded. You need to tell women how to act in order to keep you pleased, or they are not going to like you and they are 100% going to exit your life. So what does that start with to be a masculine man or to have masculinity? The first thing is you need to step into uncomfortability. And what that means is this is going to bring out a level of you or a version of you that you've probably never felt before. You might think to yourself, God, I sound like an asshole, or God, I sound controlling, or God, I sound like a prick. That's how it's going to feel right away. Now, to step into the uncomfortability, this is important because men today have no standard for femininity. Meaning if she has a pretty smile and a big booty, that's good enough to satisfy 99.9% of men. And this is why the majority of women exit, because they don't have a standard. These men don't have a standard, okay? So here's what happens is when a man dates a woman or when he enters into a relationship, these guys don't comment at all on how she acts, ever. Before they even start dating, he doesn't set the tone or the precedent for what's expected. Not only that, okay, he doesn't comment on how he wants her to act or the things that he likes in a woman. Because truthfully, most men have no idea what they like in a woman because they don't care, because all they're looking at is how she appears. All they're really caring about is how she looks. How hot is she? And what this really boils down to, okay, is because this man is so attached to sex, or he's so attached to his own lust, most men refuse to have a standard for the women that they date because they don't want to rock the boat, or they don't want to run the risk of losing that ass and losing that sex. So this is why women get by on beauty alone. You understand what I'm saying? Women get by today on beauty alone. This is why majority of women hate the men that they deal with. This is why the majority of women do not respect any of the men that are in their inbox or any of the men that they go out on dates with, because they can feel that thirst. They can feel that weakness for lust or for sex. And what happens is the man doesn't even know or understand that he's becoming emasculated because he thinks it's just normal attraction. So, this is why you need a standard, okay? You give a woman an inch in that relationship and she takes a mile. You give a woman an inch, watch her attitude turn rude, watch her start ignoring you, watch her be cold, watch her all of a sudden show disinterest in you, watch her all of a sudden act like, you know, the 18 months that you guys spent together is completely irrelevant, and now this woman looks at you in the eyes like she doesn't even know who you are. Watch her completely go cold on you. You give a woman an inch and she takes a fucking mile. This is how they are all hardwired. This is what they do. Her job is to see if she can emasculate you. Her job is to see if she can get you or convince you to follow her lead. Her job is to see if she can take control of that relationship and get you to follow her lead. Women will lead you to hell if you let them. Say that with me. Women will lead you to hell if you let them. You want to know what hell looks like when you're in a relationship? She doesn't respect you. She doesn't look up to you. You have no level of authority in how the relationship is going to go or what the standard is. And then she exits and you're sitting there pissed off and frustrated wondering why. That's what hell looks like in a relationship. Women will lead you to that hell if you let them. Okay? Now, regardless if you're religious or not, truthfully, the story of Adam and Eve shows this perfectly, because what this was Eve convincing Adam to follow her lead. Eventually he said yes, then he eats from the fruit too, or he eats from the tree too, and it's basically, hey, I got you. Then all of a sudden God comes down and says, hey, what the fuck? You were supposed to have her follow your lead. You follow her lead. Like, that is, in a nutshell, original sin. Is a man straying from his own default conditioning, knowing that he is the leader, knowing that he has to have the final say, knowing that he has to have the right attitude and judgment, him knowing these things and still going weak for that woman's beauty or going weak for that woman's sex appeal and doing what she says. If you give a woman an inch, she takes a mile, okay? Women will lead you to hell in that relationship if you let them. So, you need to step into uncomfortability. I don't care if the world says that is controlling. I don't give a fuck if they label you as that's bad or that's jealousy or that's toxic. If you do not act this way, your woman is not going to like you. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what she believes in. I don't care how your upbringing was. This is a copy-paste staple that you have to start to internalize. So, this is number one. Number two, women only know what you put in front of them. Which means if you don't verbalize what you want, if you don't verbalize what you're expecting with the right tone of voice, she's not going to just know. So, what men oftentimes say is they go, well, shouldn't she just know to act XYZ? I know to act XYZ. I know how to act. Shouldn't she just know? Because men live by this code, or men live by this natural, logical feeling of reciprocation. What reciprocation means is if I go out every weekend and I buy Frank, my best friend, dinner, or I buy him a beer, the next week he's probably going to reciprocate and buy me a beer too. So what men do is they say, well, shouldn't she just know how to act? Shouldn't she just reciprocate the same things that I'm reciprocating? The answer is no. So when guys say, well, shouldn't she just know to cook for me? And that I would really appreciate that. Shouldn't she just know to be sweet and to be nice in her attitude? Right? Shouldn't she just know to not Snapchat other men anymore since now we're dating? This is what guys say. Shouldn't she just know this? Doesn't her intuition just tell her this? The answer is no. Women only know what you put in front of them. Women only know what you say. Women only know what you tell them that you want. If you don't tell them what you want to keep you pleased as a man, she doesn't like you, she doesn't respect you, and it defeats the whole purpose of her having a boyfriend, a husband, or a man in the first place. So, the answer is no. No, she doesn't just know to do these things. She doesn't know what you want or what you expect or what your standard is until you verbalize it. This is very important. You have to state what it is that you want out of a woman. I'm going to give you another hint. It has to be far deeper than just sex. The reason why is because women oftentimes don't care about that because women fall in love with personality. Women fall in love with what makes the man the man. Women fall in love with what character is what character and what personality traits make up this guy that's in front of me. That's what women fall in love with. So if the only thing on your to-do list is, hey, make sure that I get some ass after work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she's going to look at you as the lowest value dude. She is not going to respect you. And even if she sleeps with you for a period of time, in the back of her head, she's looking for something more and something deeper. Like in the back of her head, she's looking for ways and reasons to exit at just the slightest hint of the next guy that might have something more to offer when it comes to what that relationship between her and a man and a truly masculine man actually looks like. So, when you say, shouldn't she just know these things? Okay, the answer is no, because you verbalizing it, you putting the standard out in front of her, you saying what it is that you expect, this is the entire point of her having a man in the first place. This is the entire point of her having a man who demonstrates some sort of standard that not only he holds himself to, but he also holds the woman to. Okay, it needs to be a privilege that she's in your life. She needs to feel like she had to win you over and she had to do things so that way it feels as if like this is something valuable or this is something worthy for me to enter into. This is what she wants to feel. So this is the entire point of her having a man. Not only that, this is the entire point of you being a leader. And to take this a step further, this is how you get a woman to feel safe with you and to fall in love. If you want to know how to make a woman not feel safe with you and not like you and not appreciate you, never have a standard. Never call out bad behavior, right? Never demonstrate what it is that you want or that you expect in a woman, right? Have no standard between just short-term shallow lust and short-term shallow quick pleasure thinking. Watch how fast that woman exits your life. She might think you're handsome. She might think you're muscular and attractive. She might think that she could see a future with you because you do great in your profession or your career, and then watch her completely not give a fuck. Because you're not doing the right things that nurtures her feminine like soul and spirit. So a lot of guys online that will tell you to have these big rotations are also the same guys telling you to expect women to fall out of your rotation. What does that mean? That means sex is not the answer. Like, let that sink in. Sex isn't the answer. Sex is not what women fall in love with. Like, women look at the man as a whole, his personality. So it's a completely different way of looking at things, but you have to look at things this way or else you are going to be very disappointed with how your life and how your dating life and how your interactions with women are going. Now, the reason why I told you in the beginning of this presentation is you need to step into uncomfortability. It's because you need to get used to people saying you're an asshole. You're going to have to get used to people saying you're a prick. You're going to have to get used to people saying you're an asshole. Okay? You have to get used to this because everyone telling you that this behavior or behaving like this is rude or this is toxic or this is bad, every single person, which is going to be 99% of people right now, everyone telling you this, okay, these are the people where their girls leave them that they're with. These are the same guys where their woman cheats on them eventually. And these are the same guys where their woman disrespects them, and he's sitting there scratching his head saying why, going, well, I gave you everything. I was nice to you. I was a good guy. I took you out and we went out to eat. I was a good guy. This is what's going to happen. So these same people who are going to criticize you for being this way, take a look at their life. They probably don't have any women that they're talking to, or the last woman that they dated left them, or they're divorced. They're definitely not in a healthy relationship. They're definitely not having the dating life that they want, or the woman that they were with in the past flat out disrespected them and then exited. So this is why you have to just get used to people saying you're rude or you're an asshole or you're a prick. That's how life's going to go if you live this way. But if you live this way, what's going to happen is you're going to have far better relationships with women. The women who come into your life are actually going to respect you, look up to you, love you, and adore you. It's not about the sex. Like, you honestly as a man have to enter into the mindset that's just like, fuck the sex. I don't care about the sex. Like, I don't care about the intimacy. I don't care about the kissing. I don't care about all that. You want that woman to love you, respect you, look up to you, and adore you. Because you could go sleep with 100 women a year. If you don't have those elements from a woman, she loves you, she admires you, she respects you, she looks up to you, she wants to be with you. If you don't understand how to get that level of desire, there's always going to feel like there's something missing. Like there's always going to be a void that you're trying to fill that you don't know how. So going back to my original point, everybody telling you that behaving like this is toxic or bad, their girls eventually leave them. The girls that they're with cheat eventually, and the women that they're with end up disrespecting them. So you need to operate your life with regimen, order, and you need to operate life on a short leash. When I say a short leash, what that means is when you're nice and you go with the flow, okay, her feminine brain, she literally thinks that you don't care about her. And this is the one fact, like this is the one thing that nice guys or good guys fail to realize is they think when she says, where do you want to go out to eat? And he shrugs his shoulders and he says, I don't care, up to you, because he wants to be nice and go with the flow. When she says, hey, it's dark out and I'm gonna run to the mall quick. Do you want to come with me? Okay, because she's looking for like a leader or a protector. And he shrugs his shoulders and he goes, yeah, if you want me to, I don't care. Every single time you do these things to let the decision-making process fall into her hands, I understand that you think you're being sweet. I understand that you think you're being nice. I understand 100% that you're trying not to rock the boat, and let it feel to her that she has decision-making options too, so it's what she wants, so she's happy or satisfied. I do understand that your brain is gravitating towards that, but you have to understand this in practicality. She is going to resent you. When you're nice and you go with the flow, she literally looks down at that message that says, I don't care, you can pick. She literally looks down at the text message and she goes, oh my God, my man doesn't care about me. Like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care to look at, to make the decisions. He doesn't care to protect me. This guy can't protect me mentally. This guy can't protect me morally. This guy can't protect me spiritually. This guy can't protect me emotionally. He doesn't care. And you're sitting there thinking, well, I care so much, I'm going to do anything to make her satisfied. I care so fucking much, I'm going to do anything to make her happy. Therefore, I'm just going to let her pick so that way she can sleep good at night knowing, hey, I got to make the decision and I'm happy. That is not what she wants. She needs a man. She's looking for a man with a standard. Okay? Masculine men in all ways, shapes, and forms comment on her attitude and what they expect out of a woman. Masculine men with a standard comment at all times tone of voice, and if she's getting rude in her behavior, why that's unacceptable. Masculine men comment on behavior as a whole and what he expects out of a woman. If you don't have this, she won't like you. If you don't have this, you're definitely not a leader in her eyes. If you don't have this, she's going to be back out at the bars or the clubs looking for Mr. Handsome or Mr. Perfect again. And what that means is you need to just get used to people saying you're an asshole. Because if you don't do these things, your woman is going to leave you and your woman is going to disrespect you, okay? Men have to make the decisions big or small. If you don't make the decisions big or small, if you don't set the tone and the frame and the behavior for what's expected, how is she ever going to feel like it is a privilege to come into your life? And see, this is why on my channel over the past couple of months, I've been stressing to you, being high value on paper is not the answer. Making more money isn't the answer. Because if you're a man and you don't have a standard and you don't comment on things like attitude or tone or behavior or feminine expectation you have of that woman to come into your life, dude, you can do all of these things I'm teaching you, making $2,000 a month or making $200,000 a month. She doesn't know and she doesn't give a fuck. And that is why I'm telling you, there's guys who are multimillionaires who still don't understand this, and they do everything to please that girl. They still send the text messages like, baby, are you upset with me? She's going to look at that guy. She's going to think, no backbone, no masculinity. I don't like this guy. I'm not safe with this guy. I don't like him. I don't want him. I don't know why, but he doesn't seem valuable. He doesn't seem like a high value option or a catch to me. Since he's not a catch, since he's not desired by other women, I don't want him. And then he leaves. You need to make all of the decisions big or small. All of them. Can she have input and opinion? Absolutely, and she's going to want to. But you got to remember, just like the story of Adam and Eve, it's still, until the day, like forever, your entire life, until the day, hopefully when you're 100 years old, it is her job to try to pull you off of that center. It's going to be her job to try to take you off that path and get you to follow her lead. She will always throw in gestures. She will always throw in remarks. She will always throw in underhanded tone of voice comments to test you, to move you off center, to see if she can get you to stray or to see if she can get you to break. And the second that you do, the second that you follow her lead, the second that you start doing what she claims she wants in order to satisfy her or make her happy, is the second that you've proved her hypergamy right, that you cannot protect her, right? You let the snake deceive her now. You cannot protect her. You get what I'm saying? This one story of Adam and Eve, like whether you're religious or not, whether you read that stuff or not, the story sums it up perfectly. She goes, this man is not strong enough to lead me. Okay, this man is not strong enough to make decisions. This man is actually so not competent. He's not competent to the point where he actually trusts my words. What was this? This was him trusting her words. You trust that woman's words? Now she pulls you off center. Now you do what she claimed she wanted or what was better for the two of you. Now she doesn't trust your judgment. Now it's over. It's all about you. It is all about your decision-making process. It is all about what you want. That is her coming into a masculine frame. That is her coming into the world, psychologically, emotionally, and the world of words that she wants to feel. Notice, I am not telling you to be higher value leveling up your six-pack. That's why all of these self-improvement gurus, the more I've seen content like that on TikTok or on Instagram, the more I sit there and I scratch my head, and part of me wants to freak out because it's like, no, that is not the answer. You can go get that six-pack and be on your purpose all you want. Until you understand what a woman looks for when it comes to masculine frame and you internalize it, then and only then are you going to have relationship results. And that has nothing to do with your income. She will leave a guy making $1 million a month for a guy who understands these principles in a heartbeat, because now her soul is being led. Now her feminine spirit is being led. Now she falls in love with personality and masculinity that guy has because he truly is her opposite. This is very important. So, doing all of this that I'm teaching you or that I'm telling you has absolutely nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with intimacy. It has nothing to do with kissing and cuddling and none of that. So, if you're single right now, think about this. If you're single, if you're a single guy, maybe you're watching this and you're 35 years old and you're single. If you're single right now, you have to let this sink in because this was a big realization every guy has to start to come to. 100% of the women that you fucked in the past, okay? Think about that. 100% of the women that you've slept with in the past, you are not with to this day. Let that sink in. This is how you know this has nothing to do with sex, and sex isn't the answer. Women don't care about sex like men do, and it's not how they fall in love. Women fall in love with personality. What does that mean? That means inside of your personality, okay, you must lead this woman mentally. You're going to have to lead this woman physically, okay? And you're going to have to lead this woman emotionally. Now, does she have the option to not follow your lead? Absolutely, but that's where you can now draw the line in the sand and say, hey, this isn't what I'm looking for out of a woman. And you have to be strong enough to do that regardless of her beauty, regardless of how cute she is, regardless of how attractive she is physically. You have to hold firm in that because that's what she's looking for, is a man with a standard. So one of the biggest links, or one of the biggest things that's missing for most men, truthfully too, what I've noticed after, because you gotta remember, I've been online now doing this for a lot of years. I've seen thousands of comments. What I've seen is if you're a man and you're not leading that woman spiritually, okay, or towards God, there's always going to be a void. And I'm gonna explain why. I wrote this down word for word so I can kind of hopefully let this sink in and let this kind of you can marinate on this. If you don't set a moral standard for her to be in your life, she always feels like something is missing. The reason why women get obsessed with astrology, the reason why women get obsessed with, certain things like that. I'm a Capricorn, my zodiac is this. They're looking for things to grasp onto to nourish their soul because they don't have spiritual leadership that they're looking for from a man. They are looking for a leader, okay? This is why their soul doesn't feel nourished. So she might be with you 18 months. She might be with you 2 years, 5 years. A lot of times she's not even going to be able to tell you why she's unhappy, but there's just a void. She feels like something is missing. So this is why guys oftentimes, they lead their woman emotionally, or they make decisions for the household. They make decisions for both of them. But if you don't lead that woman morally and spiritually, say that with me, morally and spiritually, something is now missing in her heart. And she'll try to fill that void. Sometimes she'll exit that relationship. She'll try to fill that void with casual sex. She'll fill that void with trying to go find new men. She'll fill that void doing 100 different things, doing astrology, right? Finding new hobbies. She does anything, but the void will never go away because she can't find this type of guy. So if you embody these traits, it's going to be very, 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 very hard for a woman to leave you. You have to understand that at this point, you can't be replaced. And even if a guy can come along and replace you on paper, oh, I make double your salary and I'm 2 inches taller, she don't give a fuck, because now you have hooked her emotions. You see, a woman's emotions dictates who she invests in. Who she invests in is dictated by who she's now with. So you gotta understand that her emotions lead her whole life. If you have this part locked in, you're going to have a very successful dating life. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.